In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NHL games happening on December 22nd, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NHL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. St. Louis Blues versus Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning are the better team on talent, and they are at home, so it is no shock the market has them sitting as a comfortable favorite here. The problem is their recent form. They have dropped 7 of their last 10, and that makes it really tough to feel good about paying a premium price to back them right now. The Blues, on the other hand, have shown they can handle the road reasonably well this season. They are also coming in with some confidence after blowing out the Panthers, which at least tells you their ceiling is still very real when things click. So this matchup starts to feel less like a simple gap in quality and more like a question of who plays closer to their top level on the night. A lot of this will hinge on whether the Blues can lock in defensively for long enough stretches. If they show up on that side of the puck, they can absolutely make things awkward for a Lightning team that is not in peak rhythm right now. If they do not, then Tampa Bay has more than enough firepower to punish every mistake. That is the tightrope with a dog like this, and it is why the number matters so much. Given the current price, the pull is clearly toward the roadside. Paying a favorite tag on a team that is stumbling the way Tampa Bay has recently just does not feel worth it, even if they still project as the better group overall. The Blues at this number are simply more appealing, and the Lightning at this number are simply not. As our first pick for this matchup, the St. Louis Blues money line is our full game side pick. The St. Louis Blues are averaging 2.54 goals per game, and they are scoring on 18.4% of their power play opportunities, so their attack is not unstoppable, but it is dangerous enough when they get chances. Defensively, the Blues are allowing 3.38 goals per game, and they are killing 77.4% of opposing power plays, which leaves some cracks for opponents to exploit, especially with the extra man. On the other side, the Tampa Bay Lightning are averaging 3.23 goals per game overall, which is a healthy scoring clip, and they are converting 17% of their power play chances. Defensively, the Lightning are allowing 2.66 goals per game and killing 84.1% of opponent power plays, so they are more solid on the penalty kill but still play in plenty of games where both teams get on the board. When you put those resumes together, you get one team that scores modestly but concedes quite a bit, and another that scores well and defends reasonably but not perfectly. That blend usually leans toward total staying live on the higher side rather than pointing to a tight shutdown affair. Any game with this mix of power play conversion rates, combined with a weaker penalty kill on one side, tends to have chances for momentum swings, quick goals, and the kind of late scoring that can push a number over. So with both teams capable of finding the net and at least one side showing real vulnerability without the puck, the setup points toward a matchup where multiple goals for each club are firmly on the table rather than something that grinds to a halt. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Vancouver Canucks versus Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers are having a really strong season, but the Canucks roll into this matchup on a 4-game heater, and it feels like they can finish this road trip with another big effort. They have 9 goals in their last 2 games, and the way they are attacking suggests that is not a fluke. You have Connor Garland, Kiefer Sherwood, and the rest of that forward group carrying the puck with confidence into the offensive zone, using quick puck movement to open up shooting lanes and force defenders into awkward rotations. When a team is playing that fast, chances pile up, and it becomes a lot easier to imagine another multi-goal showing. Defensively, the Canucks have allowed only 6 goals across their last 4 games, which points to a group that is buying into its structure. With Marcus Pettersson, Philip Hronek, and the rest of the blue line forcing turnovers in their own end and cutting off clean looks, they make life a lot simpler for Thatcher Demko. That kind of environment lets him focus on making the big stops instead of surviving constant breakdowns. There is also that quirky note that the Canucks have not lost since trading Quinn Hughes. Everybody knows that pace will not last forever, and it definitely does not mean he was somehow the issue, but it does show how loose and confident this locker room feels right now. At plus money on the road, with this kind of form, the visitor side that naturally looks tempting. Philly is a solid home team, no question, but their offense is still hard to fully trust for a full 60 minutes, and that is where Vancouver's recent form stands out. The Flyers have been the better team over the season as a whole and stronger at home, while the Canucks have been much better when they pack their bags and play on the road, so you end up with a kind of push and pull between long-term profile and current momentum. Both teams are coming in on totally different tracks, with the Flyers sitting at 1-5 in their last 6 and Vancouver riding those 4 straight wins, which only adds to the feeling that the visitor might be the sharper side right now. At the same time, there is still that nagging hesitation about trusting Vancouver fully in this spot, because backing a road team, even one in form, never feels completely comfortable. That is where the conversation about value can feel a bit muddy, since there is an argument that no side is screaming obvious value if the number shifts too far. Even so, when you balance the way the Flyers are slowing down against the Canucks' surge and the plus money price, the lean still lands on Vancouver to grab this one with another strong road performance. As our first pick for this matchup, the Vancouver Canucks money line is our full game side pick. Over the season, the Flyers and Canucks combined to average 5.68 goals per game offensively, which already pushes things near the kind of range totals bettors usually have their eye on. On the other side of the puck, they allow a combined 6.16 goals per game, which suggests that neither defense is locking games into tight, low-scoring scripts on a consistent basis. That mix of production and vulnerability is important. When both sides can score and both sides give up a decent amount, all you really need is a normal flow of penalties, a couple of timely breakdowns, and the game can tilt toward a higher number pretty quickly. The contrast in recent form can actually feed into that, with the Flyers trying to play their way out of a slump and the Canucks riding confidence, which often leads to more open ice in both directions. So with those combined scoring and goals allowed numbers, you are not looking at a matchup that screams low event, tight-checking hockey. Instead, it sets the stage for a game where chances are likely to appear at both ends and where multiple goals for each side are very much on the table, which naturally nudges expectations toward a higher total rather than a defensive grind. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Columbus Blue Jackets versus Los Angeles Kings. The Columbus Blue Jackets head into Crypto.com Arena to face the Los Angeles Kings on Monday, and it is a tricky spot to read. Los Angeles has the stronger roster and home ice, yet their form in their own building has been shaky enough that you would not exactly sprint to back them as a big favorite. Columbus does not make that decision any easier, but for the wrong reasons. The Blue Jackets keep getting carved up defensively, and the losses are starting to snowball in a way that feels more structural than unlucky. When a team is repeatedly getting beat over the head in its own zone, it is hard to build any trust in them against a disciplined opponent. Recent history also tilts the scales toward the Kings. They have taken 6 of the last 8 head-to-head matchups with Columbus, which suggests their usual game plan matches up well against what the Jackets like to do. On top of that, Los Angeles is fresh off a strong upset win over the Lightning on the road, and a result like that can act as a spark for a group that has been searching for a real run. Maybe that win is the start of something, maybe it is just a one-off, but paired with Columbus' ongoing defensive issues and the head-to-head track record, it nudges the lean in a clear direction. Even if the home form has been underwhelming, the more reasonable side to trust here is still the Kings to take care of business. So when you weigh current form, defensive reliability, and recent history, I end up siding with Los Angeles on the money line in this spot. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Kings money line is our full game side pick. The Kings usually lean on their structure and discipline, and none of their last 5 games has featured more than 5 total goals. That kind of stretch tells you they are comfortable in slower, tighter environments where chances are limited. Columbus has a way of breaking that pattern. The Blue Jackets are one of the weakest defensive outfits in the league, and their games often tilt toward chaos rather than control. They can score, but they also give up plenty, which is why 4 of their last 5 contests have finished with at least 7 total goals. Drop that style into a matchup with a team missing its starting goaltender, and suddenly even a defense-first opponent like the Kings can find itself in a more open game. Special teams add another layer here. Both clubs are struggling to defend when they are short-handed, and that kind of penalty kill issue is exactly what can swing a total. A couple of poorly managed penalties, a missed clear, 1 failed rotation, and you have power play goals on the board that did not need much help. With Columbus pushing games toward higher scoring scripts and Los Angeles dealing with a key absence in net, there is a believable path to a matchup that breaks away from the recent low-scoring Kings trend. The ingredients are there for chances at both ends, mistakes on the kill, and enough offensive production for this contest to lean toward a higher number rather than a tight goalie duel. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Seattle Kraken versus Anaheim Ducks. The Seattle Kraken roll into Anaheim on Monday night to face the Ducks, and recent form tells a pretty clear story on one side. Seattle has been in a rough patch, going 2-8-0 in its last 10 games. They are sitting at the bottom of the league offensively, averaging only 2.52 goals per game, and their defense is not strong enough to cancel that out, allowing 3.06 goals against per game. That becomes a real problem against a Ducks team that can actually fill the net. Anaheim is averaging an impressive 3.44 goals per game, so Seattle's defensive structure is going to be under real pressure here. These teams met on opening night, and the Kraken took that one 3-1, but since then they have headed in completely different directions, which is why expecting the same script now feels unrealistic. The gap in scoring talent jumps out too. Seattle's leading point scorer has only 21 points. Anaheim has 7 different players with 21 or more. In simple terms, the Kraken just do not have the firepower to trade chances with the Ducks over 60 minutes. Anaheim has also been strong on home ice with a 12-5-0 record. They have 12 more points and 8 more wins than the Kraken overall, and they have twice as many wins at home as Seattle has collected on the road. The Ducks have gone 3-1 in their last 4 games at home, while the Kraken are just 2-8 in their last 10 overall. So it lines up as a spot where the home side is in better form, has more depth, and already has extra motivation after that opening night loss. I expect Anaheim to control this matchup more comfortably this time and get that bit of payback with a solid home win. As our first pick for this matchup, the Anaheim Ducks money line is our full game side pick. Seattle did finally stop the bleeding with a win over the Sharks in their last game and will try to turn that into a mini streak here. They are 6-7-3 on the road this season, which is not terrible but not exactly reassuring either. Anaheim, by contrast, is 12-5-0 at home, but the last 5 games for the Ducks have not been all smooth sailing. They have allowed at least 4 goals in 3 of those 5, which points to a defense and goaltending combo that can leak chances even when the offense is humming. The Ducks are a fun, high-energy team that scores a lot, but their own end can get messy, and that messy style is usually friendly to higher totals. Seattle's profile matters too. Even if they are struggling to score overall, they just beat San Jose and will have some confidence, and facing a loose defensive team like Anaheim can help them find a bit more. On top of that, Anaheim's recent pattern of games has already leaned toward more overs, which is why backing high totals in Ducks home games has been a recurring theme lately. So you have a home team that loves to attack and is shaky defensively, matched with a road team that badly needs offense and just caught a bit of a spark. That combination often produces the kind of open, chance-filled game where goals can come in bunches and the total has a very real shot of landing on the higher side rather than turning into a tight goalie duel. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.